When is she finally going to tell the truth that she is not black? As a black woman, I am offended that this person is cosplaying a black person. You are not black, Meghan Markle. Please tell the truth about that.
Developing today, Meghan Markle is in crisis as Prince Harry's misery grows, as the godfather of Tyler Perry is facing sex assault. Sorry, the godfather of Lilibet, Princess Lilibet, Tyler Perry, is facing sex assault allegations. And as People magazine, her #1 supporter in the American media, brutally turns on Meghan despite years of trying to bring them on side to back Catherine, the Princess of Wales, with this fascinating cover, Kate's Summer of Strength. There are some major shifts coming, People reports, as Princess Kate privately rebuilds after a year of cancer treatment. She's stepping out with a new purpose and the poise of a queen in waiting. As Stephanie Sidley on X posted, plates breaking, and I would be adding plates breaking in Montecito. My superstar panel are with me now. Royal YouTuber, Steph the Alter Nerd, and conservative commentator and social media sensation, Based and Bougie. So, Steph, this has been one of the worst weeks for Meghan Markle in a long time, because we've got all of these crises going on. We've got People magazine turning, and then the interview that she conducted with Emma Grede, which was just awful, by the way, but this was meant to be the big set piece to launch her new product, and it has been a disaster. Look at this from Princess Carparkle. Those dislikes really climbing, and the comment section is hilarious. It's had 88,000 views. I mean, my analysis of the interview, I think, has had over 200,000 views. But the most critical thing, Steph, here, 4,439 likes, but 11,000 dislikes. So what's going on for Meghan Markle? She sacked her whole PR team, but it all just seems to be getting worse yet again.
Yeah, so she sacked her PR team because if the rumours are to be believed, they're running out of money. So they don't have enough money anymore to actually pay everyone that's on the payroll. So they've had to let them go. They're trying to spin it as, oh, we're restructuring, we're taking a new approach based on the apparent success of the birth porn video, this, that, and the other. It's all Megsy spin BS at the end of the day. And that interview that she had with Emma Grede on her podcast Aspire, again, is just another example of that. I mean, the main headline that came out of that whole interview was Megsy turning around and saying, the one thing I think I'd like people to do is just tell the truth. Well, you know what, Megsy? She needs to look in the mirror and tell that to herself, because I'm sure the Markle family would love it if Megsy would finally actually tell the truth about them. I think the royal family would love it if Megsy actually finally told the truth about them. In the same breath, it would expose Megsy, of course, as being the evil what's-it that she really is, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, this is just the continuation of the downfall of Hazza and Megsy, and we're seeing it in real time. It's a slow car crash situation, but hey, Megsy just can't help herself.
She can't. Well, look, before I get you to come in, Base and Bougie, I just want to play you this moment that Steph was just referring to from this Emma Grede podcast, which I find so shocking, because it's like, if we were able, and if the people who worked with you in the royal family were able to tell the truth, that would mean revealing your bullying, that would mean covering up the truth about your birth. I mean, do you really want to go there? But this is what she had to say. Can you believe that more than half of you are watching this video but not subscribed? So please do me a huge favor, click the subscribe button now, turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to all of our brand new Outspoken videos.
I want to say this to you in the best way, because I wonder if you could rewrite your public narrative from scratch. Is there anything that you would do differently?
Yes, I would ask people to tell the truth.
You're very measured about it. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, I'm such a hothead.
Are you? What's your sign?
I'm a Libra. But I know, and it's
Libras.
like, I don't know. I just, I don't know, maybe I'm just a bit, ghetto with it, like a little bit hood. I would just get so angry if I felt like everyone was lying about me all the time. Like, don't you ever feel like just being like, just leave me alone. Like, let me show you. Is there a part of you that ever is just like, just leave me alone?
Peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys.
No, I mean, like
very elegant.
But it's true. Of course, I've gone through those chapters and you do a lot of work. You do a lot of self-work and go, what's the why? It's happening for a reason. And my dear friend Serena, who I'm sure you know.
I love Serena. She's like my girl crush. Talk about successful entrepreneur, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's doing so well.
She said to me, I mean, she's literally, it's amazing that she can have like that type of career and then this type of business.
Based and Bougie, what's your take on this?
The minute I hear people speaking about star signs, I immediately just tune off because I'm just.
That was such a diversionary technique, wasn't it? It's like, I don't want to talk about this. So what's your sign? Who gives a damn?
It's just like that Hollywood, very fake conversation. Oh, my star sign, are you a Libra? Oh my gosh, this is why I do this, because then they just blame everything on their star signs. Second of all, notice how she asked her, what would you do differently? And she said, I would get everyone to tell the truth. No, he said, what would you do differently? As in the question was directed at you. And what does she continue to do? She answers the question by blaming everyone else. Meghan Markle is fake. And speaking of telling the truth, when is she finally going to tell the truth that she is not black? As a black woman, I am offended that this person is cosplaying a black person. You are not black, Meghan Markle. Please tell the truth about that.
It's so interesting, Based and Bougie, because in this podcast, she actually yet again tries to go down this narrative that she lost out on parts because of the fact that she had a black mother. And it's like utter bullshit. Her CV listed herself as Caucasian, and she even admitted that, and this was in the early days after she left the royal family, she admitted that she'd never experienced racism whatsoever until she joined the British royal family, she claimed. Well, we know she also didn't suffer any racism in there either. So it feels pretty appalling now that she is trying to rewrite history. Actually, I would argue lie, because she's so desperate to create a victim mentality and say, oh, well, I wasn't getting parts because I was black. It's like, you were listed on your CV as Caucasian. You were being brought up by your white dad.
Tell the truth, Meghan. Since we're talking about telling the truth, please tell the truth about your upbringing, because if you are mixed or black, why did you have Caucasian on your CV? This woman lies too much that she can't even keep up with her lies anymore. It's absolutely insane. Like, Meghan Markle, she's a joke, and this is why her and Harry's support is declining, because people are putting two and two together and saying, hold on, you said you was Caucasian and now you're saying you're not getting parts. Second of all, how are you not getting parts in Hollywood? Hollywood is like DEI central. All they're trying to do is cast black people, cast black women. So surely you should be getting parts. But the reason why you wasn't getting parts is because maybe you wasn't that talented as an actor. And that's why you had to do what you had to do by trying to burn the royal family down for some attention, because your acting career wasn't going that well. So since we're talking about telling the truth, tell the truth about the fact that you was not getting any acting opportunities, not because you was black. I mean, she hardly even looks black, but because you wasn't that great of an actor.
Oh my God, you are so right. You are so right. I mean, Steph, why does she keep thinking that we're stupid and that she can tell the Netflix documentary that she suffered no racism before she entered the royal family, but then tell this podcast this week that actually she missed out on loads of jobs because she was black?
Because she can't let go of the victim narrative, which is apparently because H.G. Tudor, who's a YouTuber here on this platform, he's taught me quite a lot behind the scenes about narcissism and, you know, how it could be attributed to Megxi. And he turned around and he told me something that completely just revolutionized the way I think about Megxi, which is this. Megxi relies on being the victim, because that suits her alleged narcissistic tendencies. She has to be the victim. People have to feel sorry for her so she can then snare them in and be able to manipulate them to her way of thinking. That's why she's doing it each and every year, because her narcissism gives her this kind of narrow-based view that she can't see anything else but her being a victim. She can't rationalize on anything else other than her being a victim, and that's that.
But first, something really important to talk to you about: scammers and spammers who are out there to ruin your life. We've all experienced more and more of those spam emails, text messages, and robocalls. Not only are they annoying and time-consuming to deal with, but they usually represent a gross invasion of your private information that can cause vast financial and reputational damage. And how the heck did they get your information in the first place, right? Well, it's likely as a result of data brokers who know everything about you, your health information, your relationship status, your mortgage details, and so much more, and then they sell it for a profit. These data brokers can directly or indirectly expose sensitive information to bad actors, putting you at risk of identity theft. The number of data breaches worldwide rises every year. According to the annual data breach report by the Identity Theft Resource Center, went up by 72% in 2023. Now, this means you and your loved ones are at a constantly increasing risk of data breaches, as a growing list of data brokers hold your personal information, which is then sold or published online. What's most shocking? You don't even know that this is happening, but it can have shocking consequences, trust me. Health insurance companies could actually raise your rates based on your online activity. Huge loans have been taken under people's names without them even knowing about it. Scammers have even started to use AI to mimic the voices of friends and families to trick victims into sending them money. These imposter scams rely entirely on the voice data they can find online. Now, while you can ask these data brokers to delete your personal information, the process takes hundreds of hours to do manually and requires repetition. But the good news is I have a solution today. It's one that I use. It's something that I personally endorse. Go to incogni.com. That's incogni.com/outspoken. And guess what? You'll get 60% off an annual plan. What Incogni does, and it's amazing, is reach out to these data brokers on your behalf, request your personal data removal, then handles any objections from their side. The whole process is automated, ensuring that your data stays off the market by conducting repeated removals and taking your data down if it pops up again. This is what makes the annual yearly subscription especially advantageous, especially with 60% off. It's such a simple process. You just create an account, grant Incogni the right to work for you, and they will contact the data brokers on your behalf to request your personal data removal. So go to incogni.com/outspoken and get 60% off an annual plan right now. This could be the most important decision you make. But now, back to the show. There's a huge amount of crisis this week, though, Steph, engulfing her, because it's not just the failure of this podcast. It's also the fact that People magazine has now shifted its allegiance from her to Catherine. That is going to be devastating. Prince Harry is completely unhappy at the moment. He just looks totally miserable. She's forced him into pimping out the children. What do you think is her strategy here?
Her strategy here, I think, is one or two things. Firstly, to merch out the children in the future. And we're seeing that, as far as I'm concerned, happen in real time, with Prince Hazard now seemingly agreeing to it, as we see more and more videos and audios allegedly of Archie and Lily that she's sharing now on Instagram. The second thing I think that she's betting on is there seems to be, I've noticed, this growing movement online of people just being sick and tired of her, having what I'm seeing being called as Meghan Markle fatigue. And I think Megsy is banking on this fatigue kind of turning into this whole notion of, well, Megsy's going to do what Megsy's going to do, so let's just leave her alone now. We're sick and tired of her. Let's just leave her alone. Let her be in the corner, do what she's doing with her fake as ever brand, this, that, and the other, and leave her to it without, criticizing her, this, that, and the other. And if it gets to that point, then she's got a chance to then manipulate the situation without, any criticism being aimed at her at all, to try and be popular again.
The issue with that, of course, is that then she allows these lies to get picked up, because there are still people like this Emma Grede woman who are prepared to sit there and just go along with her lies. I would argue that potentially, Steph, though, the sex assault allegations versus Tyler Perry are the most difficult for her to deal with, because in the past, and I don't agree with this approach, by the way, I absolutely believe in innocent until proven guilty, but in the past, she has had a zero tolerance approach. So you remember Jessica Mulrooney, literally her best friend, was caught up in some sort of totally innocuous, rubbish Black Lives Matter scandal, sort of claiming that she'd been rude to a black person and that made her racist. And Meghan literally threw the woman under the bus, even though her daughter Ivy was in her bridesmaid. Was one of her bridal party. Was one of her little flower girls there alongside Charlotte, Princess Charlotte. So this is really difficult for Meghan on a whole load of levels. And then some of the allegations contained in this TMZ article are particularly difficult too. So Queer Lips of Truth pointed one out, where TMZ reported the most aggressive incident allegedly went down in June 2021, again at Tyler's Atlanta home. Dixon, this is the accuser, was staying in the guest house and wearing only his underwear when he says Tyler came in to give him a goodnight hug. He alleges Tyler yanked down his underwear, groped his butt, and said, "Relax and just let it happen," and assured him it wasn't going to hurt. Dixon says he manages to rebuff this advance by changing the subject. Well, as Queer Lips of Truth says, I wonder if Tyler Perry and Prince Harry have had similar encounters, because Steph, as far as I'm aware, Tyler Perry's never come out as gay, and these allegations, I've gone through them all. I've read all of the text messages. This is not looking good for him.
No, it's not looking good for him. However, I'll always maintain innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely.
When it comes to cases like this. What's really interesting for me is Megxie and the Emma Grede interview, when she mentions Tyler Perry, but she doesn't. So, for example, she was happy to name drop Serena Williams in the Emma Grede podcast interview, but not Tyler Perry. She's name dropped Tyler Perry a ton in the past, but recently she's not doing so anymore. So part of the interview that she had with Katie Lee on Confessions of a Female Founder, she turns around to Katie Lee and she explains how her family had just moved to California and that they were staying at Tyler Perry's house. But instead of saying, "We were staying at Tyler Perry's house and this is how I met you, Katie Lee," she said, "We were staying in our friend's home." So Tyler Perry has now been demoted to just being our friend. To me, it's giving me shades of what you referenced earlier on. She dropped her BFF, Jessica Mulroney, over false allegations of racism during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement. And it looks like she's done this again, but now to Tyler Perry. And I wonder if Megxie actually knew that this storm was coming all along, because the last time they saw each other, as you can see on the screen right now, was actually at the Paley Centre for Media when Tyler Perry was being honoured. And it's being argued that Megxie was not sat at the same table as Tyler Perry, and he's supposed to be godfather to Lily. So what the deuce is going on there? But even more interestingly, she wasn't actually on the stage for Tyler Perry's crowning moment. So I think it's been in the works for a while that Megxie has started to be distancing herself from Tyler Perry. And I wonder how much she knew that this storm was coming up.
Well, P. Diner, who is going to be with us very shortly over on Substack, www.outspoken.live, by the way, if you want to sign up for our uncancelled Royal After Show, she has heard exclusively that Meghan Markle is potentially trying to officially scrub Tyler Perry as Lilibet's godfather. But the thing is, Based and Bougie, none of this looks good, does it, for Meghan Markle? Because the problem is, actually, before I get you to come in, Based and Bougie, I've got to play, because I can't stand Tyler Perry. And one of the reasons I can't stand Tyler Perry is he went on Meghan and Harry's Netflix documentary and said that he would not have agreed to become Lilibet's godfather if he had to attend the christening at a Church of England ceremony in the United Kingdom. I remember that would have been a Church of England ceremony attended by the head of the Church of England, the late Queen Elizabeth II. The cheek of this guy. The cheek of this guy who seems to be very morally corrupt himself, but looking down on the British royal family because of a host of lies by Meghan Markle. So I'll get you to react, but just watch what he had to say first.
We'll call and we'll chat and we'll talk about silly things. And they were pretty serious on the phone. I go, okay, what's going on? And they said, well, we'd like for you to be Lily's godfather. I go, whoa. I'd take a minute to take that in. And I thought I'd be honored. I'd absolutely be honored. And I got off the phone, took it all in, then I called him back. I go, hold on a second. Does this mean we got to go over there and do all of that in the church with them and figure all that out? Because I don't want to do that. Maybe we can do a little private ceremony here and let that be that. And if you have to do it there, then it's okay.
Oh my God, it makes me so angry, based and bougie. And it's like, what, you were looking down on our late, great Queen Elizabeth II, and look at you.
Why are people in Hollywood so up themselves? Like, they actually think they're special, because even if you were to go Tyler Perry, you wouldn't even be close to the royal family. You wouldn't even be anywhere close seated to the royal family, because you are not that special. You probably would have been at the back of the church and the royal family would have been at the front. Who told this guy he was special? Second of all, just the immaturity of that comment. I am so confident in myself and I'm so mature that I could be in a room with someone I don't like and simply don't interact with them. But again, he wouldn't even be allowed to interact with them because he's not special. He would have been at the back of the room. But I think this whole situation would definitely be a testament of Meghan Markle and her character. There's been so many accusations about her and her loyalty to her friendships and her ability to just drop people like that whenever it doesn't suit her brand image. And I feel like this distancing that she's, portraying against Tyler Perry, and her, if she ends up actually dropping Tyler Perry as the Godfather, that would definitely solidify the fact that Meghan Markle is a liar, is fake, is a fraud, and is not a true friend to anyone but herself and her brand.
So true. So true. Now, I guess the only counter narrative to that, Steph, is that I think Meghan Markle quite likes the fact that Tyler Perry has a private jet. He's quite helpful to her in a way that Jessica Mulroney was not.
Yeah. In my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, she asked Tyler Perry to be godfather for Lily because of what he could provide monetarily and everything else in between for her. Like the private jets, like his multitude of homes that he's got scattered across America. But I'm absolutely pissed off at him with what he said there in that clip. How freaking dare he try and dictate decades, centuries, right, of what would you call it now? Like religious acts that the royal family have done time and time and time and time again, right? If you've got such a problem, right, with the religious aspect of a baby's christening, and you're asked, do you want to be godfather to that baby? Well, you turn around and say, no, not for me. You don't freaking turn around and be like, well, I do have a certain demand. You're going to have to change the venue, the religion, and pretty much every single aspect of it. No. Where the frick does he get off saying that in the first place?
I know. And these are the types of people she surrounds herself by. And of course, Tyler Perry has connections to P. Diddy. So we will be watching this very closely. And of course, Steph, the Alter Nerd, will be covering this on her brilliant royal channel, which I highly recommend you subscribe to on YouTube. Likewise, Based and Bougie, so brilliant to have you both here on the Superstar panel. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.